All right, so the title for my final project is District Art. This is artwork in and around the Cotton District. And I was going to go ahead and start with the first piece, which is on this title slide. And this is a piece by Michael Roy, sort of a fantastical, whimsical piece. I mean, this is on the side of Two Brothers, which has like an antiquity statue seen here in the top left, shooting a bow and arrow at a pig. Not really like a sensible, clear to interpret piece, but more so one that is, again, kind of whimsical and just thought-provoking, maybe. And there's more than just this one mural by him. You'll see as we go on sort of the theme of his works. Yeah, and so here's a table of contents. No need to spend too much time on that, but you get a clear idea of the sort of pieces that we're going to showcase in this project. And again, trying to get a little bit of everything. There's no one style of art that is universal to all of the Cotton District. All right, so Greek statues or Greek structures. There are Greek statues, but this is Greek structure in the Cotton District. I wanted to include this because if you took Art History 1, we had a lesson on antiquity structures. And so I wrote down a little bit about what we can see here. So if you remember Doric columns, these are cylindrical, short, sort of like girthy, like wide columns to project strength. This is not one of them. There are no fluting. Okay, there's no grooves essentially going around this cylindrical column, but it is rectangular. But it is Greek, and we know that because the columns are going along not just the front, like this structure in the background, but on all sides. This is sort of reminiscent of like maybe a temple. I don't think temples had fans back then, but anyway. Right, and then so this is the next type of artwork that I took pictures of while I was in the Cotton District for this, and this is Starkville murals, not just in the district, there are also some on Main Street. Now what do these show? First one, First Bank mural. This is showcasing, you'll notice some things are common between the two, like the Stark Vegas sign. But this is showing local things to Starkville and Mississippi State. You have Hotel Chester, Main Street, Chapel of Memories, and some of these again overlap like here and here. The mill, also the school mascot, Bully, and cowbells, and that's a huge one that's going to come up. And I didn't have the date on this one, but I know this is relatively recent because of this Mississippi flag. All right. So, and then what are the other types of murals? Uh-oh, it's Michael Roy again. So this is another piece. This is quite difficult to interpret what's going on, I'm not going to lie. But it has a lot of vertical lines. If you're doing a formal analysis, this is what I would say. I'd say it utilizes vertical lines a lot, and some horizontal. If you look at like the bottom of the picture, they're all equidistance apart. The arms sort of go in this left-right direction, but the main thing is vertical lines. And then if you notice this is just a small thing I noticed. If you've ever been in that leasing office, they have a dog in there, and I'm pretty sure they included the dog into the picture, so that's kind of funny. He's probably like sitting on a dog bed right here while I took this. So anyway, I thought that was funny. But what are we noticing that's common here? Well, it's again tying back in the local sort of like folk legend or local aspect of Starkville and Mississippi State into the art pieces. So there's a little bit of knowledge you have to have. You couldn't just like look at this and not know what's going on. But anyway, now I could not find the artist on this, but I have a feeling I know who it is. So this is the Snowballs mural. And I want to go back 1 second because I wrote down some things I wanted to talk about. I believe that this person is made from bamboo. That is what I wrote down, Bamboo Man. But I'm not sure, and I think that that's why you have these like skinnier. I don't know. The more you look at it, the more you sort of like change what you think is going on. Because I mean, it really is kind of hard to. So this is depicting that, and that leads me into this one. And if you could tell me the meaning of this one, I would like to hear it. But I will say what I have deciphered. So you have like a buccaneer person with what I think is an ice cream scoop of chocolate for their hat. So follow with me. And then you have an alligator or crocodile with a snake for hair and a cross. And then as you get over here, you have sort of these alien-like things. Notice though, I believe that they're all ice cream colors, and I think that this is to tie into the Stark Vegas Snowballs, like restaurant or ice cream shop. And I think that's also why you have like this dripping design. This is similar to his last one where you had this speckle of things in the background to fill up the negative space. So on to the next type of art, and this is road art. Didn't know what else to call it. Road art. So if you've ever driven down University Drive through the Cotton District, you will notice these, most noticeably these cowbell, I call them cowbell crossings, but they're called cowbells to paint bells, paint pails. And essentially these are all crosswalks. You can see them painting them here. And these are a way to like make having to slow down or come to a stop more pleasant, because while you're slowing down, what are you doing? You're looking at the art. And then this one is probably more notable because this is actually using symbolism, Choctaw symbolism, which is key to Starkville's history. If you think about much of the South and Mississippi, like the county of Oktibbeha County, there are Native American influences. So this is not only are we seeing modern Starkville or Mississippi State University history, we're also seeing history that goes back 300, 400 years. So that's kind of neat, and I like that this is right in the center of the Cotton District. I mean, if you drive through here during the semester past 4 p.m., guarantee there's going to be people crossing through here or here. You get the point. So anyway, that one's right front and center, so I had to include that one. Right. And so I didn't want to just include all Greek statues. There are a few of those in the Cotton District. So I wanted to sort of get one that was interpretive. And I'll tell you what I have sort of come to conclude looking at this. Well, first, I think that the main focus is the fact that this is a top-heavy structure. Not only that, these two rings, and keep in mind, this is not moving, of course. This is made of metal. These rings seemingly are like out of place. It's like they're falling down. Okay, so other than that, what can you interpret? Well, I think what I saw when I took it from this angle is this looks like a person. This is their like hunched back. It sort of looks like they're like looking down like this. That's just my idea. That's why it's interpretive. Everyone has their own interpretation. So if anyone else has a different interpretation, good for them. All right. Now the last thing I wanted to include was graffiti. Didn't plan to include this. I was going to use those Greek statues that I was talking about. But as I was driving through the district and I had to go back for another lap to find some more things to photograph, I saw this. And if you see, this is the Courtyard Marriott Hotel. And then just to the right of that is the mill. This is from the east side of the mill. And there's this abandoned lot with a lot of graffiti. And is it considered art, or is it vandalism, or is it both? Could be both. That is up for you to decide. So I wanted to show some of the notable ones that I saw and that I particularly gravitated towards. So we saw some of pop culture, some depicting love, and some that could be purely just the artists or vandals' creative freedom in deciding what they wanted to paint. and I have not looked at all the words in this, so if there's anything bad, I did not have the chance to read over everything in between the graffiti. So now, what do we see in this one? And for the sake of this, pretend this says graffiti art. All right, so we don't know the artist for this one, but what I did notice as I looked over this for writing the written portion of this is notice how there's not just one artist. This hair, I believe, was done after the fact. So I think that not only did one person paint this, someone else came along and added to it. And I mean, you can see where it sort of seeps over into, over some of their stuff, some of this like writing and stuff. But if you get that sense of what graffiti is, in this particular location, it's more of a like Starkville community, just a place to write whatever. And then also, if this is what this reminded me of, this is why I took a picture of it, the famous The Kiss painting by Gustav Klimt. Not sure if there was meant to be any resemblance there, but that's why I thought it was notable. And one last thing I wanted to show, I thought it was kind of funny that we talked about Mario in this class for surrealism. And lo and behold, here's a villain from Mario on this wall. So if you watch that video, maybe you know what I'm talking about. But in conclusion, each of these works of art showcased a side of Starkville that was different than the section before. Some of them chose to focus on the most blatant and obvious aspects of Starkville, which were the university, the main street, or the sports. Others focused on historical, native populations and imitating some of that. Meanwhile, others were just purely up to your interpretation, like the pictures by Michael Roy. So, and that is what the Cotton District is, in my view. It's just an artistic place for you to sort of find art that either has meaning or doesn't have meaning, but in either case, it still somehow fits in. So if you're ever in Starkville for the coming semester, feel free to walk down these streets and you'll find art almost every corner in some form or another, architecturally and or murals or whatever. So hope you enjoyed. Don't want to keep too much of your time, and I'm going to go back into presentation for one more second so I can leave you with my sources and a thank you. Bye.